Hello children, welcome to the online classes of Mother of India Public School. Today we will be discussing about the electric generator. This is based upon the principle of Fleming's left hand rule and the right hand thumb rule, which we have already studied yesterday. So let us start with it. Electric motor. It is a device that is converting electrical energy to the mechanical energy. Means as soon as you are going to switch on the current, what will happen? The motor starts to rotate. You must have seen the mixer grinders, the washing machines, fan at your home. As soon as you switch on, current flows through the wire and the motors rotate. Here you can see the diagram of a motor. It is based on the principle that when a rectangular coil is placed in a magnetic field and current flows through it, a force acts on the coil which rotates it continuously till the current flows in it. Maximum force will be applied when the current carrying coil is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field. Now let us see the construction of the electric motor. In the diagram, you can see two permanent magnets having a concave cavity in which the rectangular coil, which is also known as armature, is kept. It can rotate into the cavity. It is connected to the split rings and carbon brushes and then to the AC source or any source of EMF. Next you can see, yes, construction of electric motor. See, the very first thing was armature coil, that is the rectangular coil. It consists of a single loop of an insulated copper wire in the form of a rectangle. A rectangle coil is there on which the copper wire is wound. Then strong field magnets. The armature coil is placed between the two pole piece of a strong magnet which provides a strong magnetic field. You saw two permanent magnets having a concave cavity. The armature coil is then connected to the two halves of metallic ring which are also known as split rings. These are also known as the commutator. The work of the commutator is to reverse the direction of the current in the armature coil. These split rings are then connected to the two carbon brushes which are pressing against the commutators. These brushes act as the contact between the commutator, that is the split ring, and the two ends of the battery. Now these brushes are connected to the battery which supplies the current to the rectangular coil, that is the armature. Now let us see how the electric motor works. You can see in this video the inside of the motor. Over here the armature, the brushes, commutator, magnetic field, then output shaft. The motor is based on the principle of right hand thumb rule and the Fleming's left hand rule. You can see the rectangular coil ABCD of insulated copper coil which is placed between the two poles of the magnetic field such that the arms AB and CD are kept perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field, that is from north pole to the south pole. The ends of the armature coil are connected to the two split rings. The inner side of the split ring is insulated and it is connected to the axle. The split rings are connected to the two carbon brushes which is connected to the battery, that is the source of the EMF. Applying Fleming's left hand rule, we will see that the side AB is pushed downward and the side CD will be pushed in the upward direction. Hence the coil ABCD starts to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. Now you can see the current enters from one side of the split ring coil and leaves it from the other side. Hence the circuit is completed. Now as the current flows from AB and comes back through CD, we will see that the force starts to act on the conductor and it starts to rotate. Applying the Fleming's left hand rule, see, we can keep our forefinger parallel to the magnetic field, the middle finger parallel to the current, and we can see that how the direction of the force is applied. See, the AB side will be pushed downward and the side CD will be pushed upward, and hence the coil will start to rotate. At half the rotation, the CD arm of the coil comes to the left side and the AB arm moves to the right side, and the split ring also changes contact from one brush to the other. This reverses the direction of the current in the coil, which reverses the direction of the force acting on the coil also. This reversing of the current in the coil is repeated after every half rotation. So till the current flows through the armature coil, it keeps on rotating and hence the motor works. Now you can see the text over here. While the coil is rotating and it is in the vertical position, what will happen? The commutator will be cut off its contact with the coil, and due to the momentum, it will keep on rotating. Yes, now after half rotation, the coil is going to change the position. CD comes to the left, AB moves to the right. The two commutator automatically changes the contact with the brushes. So now what will happen? The direction of the current will also reverse as the contact of the brushes has changed with the commutator. This makes the direction of the current to reverse, and hence the arm AB and CD will now be moving in the opposite direction. That is, the AB will be pushed up and CD will be pushed down, which makes the coil rotate by anti-clockwise by another half the rotation. The reversing of the current in the coil is repeated after every half rotation, due to which the coil continues to rotate as long as the current passes through it. A commercial motor uses the electromagnet in place of a permanent magnet and a soft iron core on which the coil is wound. Now the uses of DC motor, it is uses in electric car, rolling mills, electric train, lift, drilling machine, fan, hair dryer, blower, mixer grinders, tape recorders, refrigerator, washing machine, and so on. As current produces magnetism, magnetism also produces current. The production of current due to the magnetism is called electromagnetic induction, which has led to the construction of generators. The current produced by moving a straight wire in a magnetic field is called induced current, and thus this phenomena was discovered by Michael Faraday. You can see the Faraday's experiment. There is a coil connected to a device called galvanometer, which detects the current. A magnet is placed nearby it, which can move inside and out through the coil. As it moves inside and outside the coil, there will be a deflection seen in the galvanometer, which shows that it produces the current. This is how the magnet produces the current, and this type of current is known as the induced current, and the voltage is known as the induced voltage, which is also known as the electromotive force. I am again explaining you the Faraday's experiment in the form of two activities. Please see, there is a magnet kept next to the coil, which is connected to the galvanometer to detect the current. As the magnet is moved inside and outside the coil, there will be the deflection in the galvanometer, but when the magnet becomes stationary, there is no movement. The deflection in the coil will also stop. As the magnet moves inside the coil, the deflection will be to one side, but as it moves outside the coil, the deflection will be to the other side. Now let us see the next one. Over here, the two coils are kept side by side. One coil is connected with the circuit, that is a battery and a switch, and the other coil is connected with the galvanometer. The two coils are wound on the same tube, you can see. Now as soon as you switch on the circuit, the current flows through the coil 1 and there can be a deflection seen in the galvanometer in the coil 2. Now you switch off the circuit, you can again see the deflection in the galvanometer in the second coil but in the opposite direction. Now when the current changes, means either the circuit is switched on or switched off, the deflection can be seen in the galvanometer, but when the current flows continuously, there will be no deflection seen in the galvanometer. This shows that the deflection will be there only when the current increases in the circuit or decreases in the circuit, means when there is a change in the current in the circuit. When the current in the first coil changes, the magnetic field produced will be linked with the second coil and hence it produces the induced current, which can be detected by the galvanometer in the second coil. So as the current changes in the first coil, magnetism will be produced. That magnetic flux or magnetic field will be linked with the second coil, means changes with the second coil, increases or decreases, and hence it produces the induced current in the second coil. Now let us discuss about the Fleming's right hand rule. Arrange the fingers of your right hand, that is the middle finger, the forefinger and the thumb, as we did for the left hand. The forefinger represents the magnetic field over here, the thumb represents the movement of the conductor, and the middle finger represents the induced current. Remember the induced current and not the current over here. Now we will be studying about the induced current. So the three are at 90 degree to each other. Thumb represents the movement of the conductor, that is the motion of the conductor. Forefinger represents the magnetic field and the middle finger represents the induced current. You can see my right hand. All the three fingers, the thumb, the forefinger and the middle finger, arranged at 90 degree to each other. The thumb represents the motion of the conductor, the forefinger represents the magnetic field and the middle finger represents the induced current. Now if you know any of the two, you can find out the third one easily. Place your two fingers parallel to the given quantities and you can find out the third quantity. Now this is the Fleming's right hand rule given over here. You can read it out and note it somewhere. Children, in the next segment we will be studying about the electric generator and domestic